Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Shelbyville Mayor and City Council study session. It's Tuesday, September the 2nd. It's about 6 p.m. And on our agenda tonight, we are going to start with public comments, but I wanted to add for our city council members, we've got a number 6 to add to discussion items. TDOT Airport Maintenance Grant. Number 6 right there. All right, public comments. Do we have any, Ms. Lisa?
No, sir, we don't. Is there anyone who'd like to make a comment about anything that concerns the city prior to the start of the meeting? No, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, staff reports. Our city manager, Scott Collins, sitting beside us. Scott, can you give us an update?
Yes, sir. I'll just touch on a couple of things. The right-of-way plan set for the Tap River Walk, River Overlook is scheduled to be submitted to TDOT on September 12th. And they'll probably take their 30 days, and then we can start working on the right-of-way acquisition. City treasurer got the final numbers in on the local option sales tax. And for the fiscal year, our local option was up 6.3%. And the last thing we want to touch on is voting will start on the Levitt Foundation Concert Music Grant on September 5th at noon. It goes through September 12th. This is the grant that would allow for 30 concerts at the Riverview District Y parking lot. And we're in the top 10 out of over 200 that applied. And voting plays a big role. And if you'll visit the Celebrate Shelbyville TN Facebook page, it has the link and how to vote. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
You want to get us an email with that link out so we can post it around?
And you don't have to be inside the city of Shelbyville to vote. So,
Okay, what exactly is the voting again?
to
Voting to,
encourage the grant.
okay,
Support the grant.
so,
You would support the concert series.
Yeah.
right, and so it's a certain percentage of people for it to be in the running final stages of it?
Yes, we're in the top 10,
Okay.
and now the criteria is which city wants it the most. So,
How many cities are we choosing? Just one?
in Tennessee. Yeah. And I can assure you, we're gonna get lots of support out of Campbell County, Carroll, Oliver Springs, Newport, and Fayetteville.
Okay.
Newport.
Yeah,
I've got friends. Oh, Austin, Texas,
okay.
California.
It's one of those vote early and often.
Yes, sir, and I will email that to you also, you can share it with your friends and contacts and everybody in the audience, let's vote.
I sent it on Facebook, so that's, they just want to look it up and it'll bring it up on Facebook if you need to get that away. Or we can send out an email like Henry said. The fly will be involved in the music part of it. The foundation is an educational. And we had a meeting the other day, so that now will be in the fly's hand, any kind of music concert. But we definitely need to get some votes for that to see if we can't get it in the city of Shelbyville. Okay, first discussion item tonight is the Brownfield redevelopment area grant. Bragg, are those folks here tonight?
It's just.
Okay, right there, yes, yeah.
If you'll come to the podium and state your name.
Cody, right?
My name's Cody Huddleston. I'm with Bellicher Development Group. We're a sister company to Cooper Steel. And thank you for the opportunity to be here. And just to give you a little of my background, I'm the Vice President of Bellicher Development Group. We're a commercial, industrial, and consulting development firm based in Shelbyville and Nashville, Tennessee. And recently, in some discussions I had with Tom, I filled out the Brownfield Redevelopment Area Grant application through TDEC's Smart Simple website for the former Airmark building, which is located at 1315 Madison Street. I'm assuming many of you are familiar with what that operation used to be or was. And we under one of our LLCs, JCG Holdings. We currently have that property under contract. During this contract, we have recently been awarded $100,000 in the Bragg grant, which comes directly from TDEC, Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. And I think just today or last week, Miss Stacy Claxton had updated the Title VI policy, which is one of the things the city of Shelbyville had to do in order for this grant to become contractual. But prior to that, I'm more so here today or tonight to, seek permission from the city for you all to be the grantee, because these dollars have to flow from the state to the city back to us. And so some of the things that we're going to be doing, again, it's called an assessment grant. So we have an environmental engineer, TTL. They've already conducted phase 1 environmental. It's been deemed a brownfield, essentially, just from its previous use. There's some solvent on site, among other things. And so we want to take it to the next steps, and in order to do that, we have to conduct a phase 2 environmental study, do some core drilling, some geotechnical work as well. And this grant would allow us to help cover some of those costs. As part of this grant, we have to enter the site into TDEC's VOAP program, which is their voluntary oversight assistance program, which means TDEC, the state, has oversight throughout this project through the life of the contract. The grant contract is a 12 to 24 month contract. But we can't do it without buy-in from the city, Mayor, because we can't be the grantee. But it's our goal to clean it up. It depends on, how much it's going to cost. TTL, our environmental consultant, will work through that with us. We have another opportunity to apply for another $500,000 grant through TDEC as well. So we could potentially really move the needle and clean that corner up there. So I kind of hit the high level of that, but I'm happy to answer any questions if you all have those.
Questions, council?
And this may be for City Manager. Is this the same program that was at South Central Tennessee Development, or somebody came in recently and presented to us? Is this the same grant program?
Okay. And it doesn't cost the city of Shelbyville anything to be a part of it.
It is not. And actually, Mayor, as part of it, Jamie Thompson from TDEC told me 5,500 of it goes directly to the city for being the grantee / admin. But please know that I'm gonna be the ones helping you guys complete invoice sheets and proofs of payments and all that. And you'll just have to basically sign off on what I'm doing.
If you'd like me to clarify some aspects of it. So, South Central has a separate funding through them, and they have their vendor that actually does their environmental assessment. It doesn't require any cost to the individuals. It's just a site is selected, they will do the assessments. The Bragg grant is a different grant program, and that what Cody has alluded to, the city is the qualifying entity that the funding is run through. But their purpose is the same aspect, same thing, which is to remove the brownfield, the contaminants. So.
You might just.
Tom, have you seen any of the documents related to the grant?
For the Bragg grant?
Mm-hmm.
I only downloaded the, what is it, their grant manual.
The question I want to get at, from an oversight perspective, does the city have any oversight over it? And can we actually force certain types of actions to take place?
In what sense? I guess.
My concern, of course, would be, have you checked to see, are there any clawbacks? If certain things are not met, will TDEC be looking for the city for the return of its money?
I will have to look at that a little bit closer. I wasn't, initially when Cody came and the mayor and myself, discussing it, I only did an overview of it and not really detailed. but I can look into that.
Sure, I just would think that it sounds like that it is structured by the state,
Yes.
that it it flows through a municipality. So I'm hoping they don't have anything in there that puts the municipality on the hook in case this is
Sure.
it's not completed or something is done incorrectly. That's what that's my concern about the city
Sure.
giving a yes on this.
And typically on these types of grants, whenever there is a pass-through component, the state is still the one that retains control. In the sense that you still have to meet their standards before any kind of funding is released. Right. I believe that's how it works. It looks like Kay's.
And I think it's probably similar to the duck sign, 600,000. We were the pass-through. Duck sign was gonna hire X number of people in X amount of time, and if they don't, I think it's on duck sign to pay it back. I don't think it's on us.
Sure. I just
So if
wanna
they
make
don't
certain.
continue with their project, I hope the state's looking to you, not us. I hope.
We just can't receive it directly because
Right.
of state law.
Do you know if it's a reimbursement or if
It
you get
is.
it up front?
No, we don't get it up front.
Okay, so it's a reimbursement.
So basically, we'll have TTL, our environmental consulting firm, has a budget, which you all will see. And it's gonna more than, it's gonna go over 100,000, but obviously we know we can only get reimbursed up to 100,000 because the phase twos or just the phase two will be roughly 50,000. So there's half of it right there. We will submit, TDEC will provide templates for us, just like the ECD did for Duxon, reimbursement templates. We'll have proof of where we paid TTL for a phase two. We'll have that invoice and the payment associated with it. You all basically have to, the city, we'd want you all to sign off on that. TDEC would sign off on that and then go through their approval process and then pay us back. So nothing can get approved or any payment, any invoice without the city's permission and ultimately TDEC's.
Sure.
And everything can fall back to us as the owner of that facility. But TDEC will only approve what's in our approved budget to them, which we're redoing another one now. So that's part of the grant requirement.
I just want to make certain that we see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to the council voting on it, just to make certain that any clawback at all
Okay.
would come to you all, not to the city.
Yes, ma'am.
And the development district handled the one for duck sign. I didn't do the paperwork on that. So this would be kind of new if we're doing that.
Cody, have you done one of these before?
I haven't. I'm not. I worked for the state economic development for about 12 years. I'm familiar with the state's grant process. I filled this grant application out in less than 48 hours. I got wind of it on a Friday. It was due on a Monday. So,
And is the property already passed hands over to the new owners?
not yet.
Okay, I don't think so. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you for being
I
here.
appreciate it.
Good to
Thank
see
you all.
Okay, number 2 is the Riverview Entertainment District, and I guess, Scott, will you bring us up to date on that?
Yes, city attorney has been working on a draft ordinance to make a zone similar to what several cities, you've got examples of benefits of them on your iPad. And it's going to be a specified area, and I probably just need to let our city attorney talk more to it.
Sure. Thank you. I sent out an email to you today that included a memorandum that I had done back in February, just sort of getting staff kind of what we need to do. And it's actually not just one, but 2 ordinances. In order to create the main thing of an entertainment district really is to allow the open consumption in that premises of alcoholic beverages. Now, the information that Scott had sent out to you was by, I think, a firm out of Kansas, sort of broad, it applied nationally. So we have to look specifically to what we need to do here in Tennessee. 2 things. I don't think you would ever want to create a district like that you don't restrict vehicle traffic. You'd want to have it to be a pedestrian way. So the first thing would be to actually close South Spring Street, and that's what's been brought up or requested by some businesses on this area. To close that small section and maybe even to through traffic, even around to a little section of McGree. I think the plan there is to put some bollards, there'll be signs and bollards. So you will be able to have, I think the intent is to be able to have, obviously, if emergency vehicles have to get in there, they would have access to it. And also delivery, I know, to a couple of the businesses that might be over on Grindstone Cowboy side, they would need to have small access to be able then to get into the parking lot to go behind there, so for their delivery traffic. So the intent would be to limit all other public traffic. And you might not have had time to read the memo today, but one of the things that I was pointing out to our staff is I've never closed a road or restricted use of a road in the city. We have done, since I've been city attorney, several abandonments, and that's a whole different ballgame. We have determined that the public use of that, we have no use of that whatsoever, and so we abandon it and then usually split the roadway in half, and we deed over that land to the adjoining landowners. That is not what this would be. This would be a different type, and I think we'll do it by ordinance, we'll have to figure out where it would go in the code, because to my knowledge, we don't have this type of an arrangement anywhere else in the city, where we're maintaining and keeping hold of the public right-of-way. And we want to control the right-of-way, and we're going to close it for general traffic purposes, but we're not giving up the land. So we would do that by ordinance. That would be number one. Number two would be creating what I'm calling it's basically an open container district. You all are very familiar, I'm sure, with Beale Street is probably the best known in Tennessee, but there are several others. Clarksville has one, Chattanooga has Station Street, I think there's a couple of others. I've pulled all their ordinances, and there are a variety of ways that you can do that. But it's my understanding that the intent and the conversations that staff may have had with the businesses that would be affected are that those businesses and their restaurants, they're entitled to get a liquor license just through general state law. We don't have to change anything of city law for them to have that. But to be able to consume alcoholic beverages on the premises, it has to be their premises. And so that is a separate issue in and of itself. What we could do is change our own local law about open containers, because we have one of those miscellaneous misdemeanors in the city of Shelbyville where you're not supposed to have open containers and public spaces. So the intent would be that folks could walk outside of those restaurants and walk up and down the part of the street that is closed to through traffic. What I told Scott prior to the meeting, I think one of the bigger things that we first have to determine is the exact location of the district. I don't know how far we want to go, one, down the street, but also do you want to extend it into our parking area, the parking area of the Fly, part of what your new park will be? I don't know those things. Those are things that somebody's going to have to consider and determine about whether you allow folks to go out. Lots of other things to consider in a district like that. Some of the districts around Tennessee have different types of operating hours when you can go out. They have some noise regulations. I think I was talking to Councilman Blevins beforehand. So Beale Street is an example of it doesn't matter. You get your beer can and walk outside on Beale Street. Doesn't matter. Chattanooga Station Street's a little bit different. They actually have it in their ordinance, and that in order to go outside the establishment and be in their area, your alcoholic beverage, and that means, and I should back up, I also mean alcoholic beverage as in liquor, beer, wine, the full shebang. In a plastic cup, it has to be plastic, and specifically with Station Street on the cup itself. Those are their regulations. I think that's probably to help enforcement. So it's very clear that you just can't walk up to the district at Station Street and have your own beer. You can't bring it with you into that area. It's something that you bought at one of the businesses up and down the street. So those are the types of things that I think have got to be considered. Clearly, we need to have some, input from our law enforcement about what they think, some of the things that we may need to consider putting in the ordinance and how that's gonna affect them. And what type of, resources they may want. We clearly would want signs at both, the boundaries of the district to tell people what it is, what they cannot do. We're gonna wanna have, trash cans in those areas for people. So there's quite a few moving pieces on this. There's one other small thing that I want to make certain I'm not sure of. I believe that we can do this locally by changing, and what we would do with the open container district is we would make changes to our code under the beer, primarily under the section on alcoholic beverages, but also we would have to go under miscellaneous offenses. We've got to go into there. One of the things I want to be clear at and probably have a conversation with both the businesses that this would affect, or any business that this would affect. If they have an alcoholic sales license, I want to be certain that this doesn't cause them any concern or with their license. What we're just affecting is our own regulation of open container. I just want to make certain that it doesn't, by them participating and knowingly allowing people to walk out their premises with an alcohol beverage in their hand, I hope it doesn't put their license at risk. So I just want to make certain that we need to check with TABC and that they're not hurt by anyway. There are a couple of things we probably could do. I know Chattanooga, besides doing a district for an open container, they also extended the premises of any of the business in there by saying if they are outside the building but on public way, that they can have tables and chairs and they can sell and then they could serve there. They call it little like parklet cafes or something. So that's another option that we can talk about.
That was a effective option in Fayetteville, and they called it a Villa Garden Orange Zone. And it was a restricted extension, and they kind of did it on their south side, in just in zone, and Fort Benson.
So Chattanooga's got both of that in theirs, like belt and suspenders, I suppose. So that's just one thing I want to keep in mind with. That doesn't hurt the city. I just want to be mindful of our businesses, our citizens here, that they don't get themselves in trouble by doing that.
And Ginger mentioned some key cities, and what's funny about it, Columbia is reaching out to us, wanting to know what process we're doing.
And Fayetteville has too. Again,
John Hill
Hill's called.
has reached out, wanting to know what we're doing so they can kind of model it. And we're asking them. Spring Hill has reached out. So
There's a lot of interest in the state.
With entertainment districts. Again, it's a long process, and it's ultimately
So, yeah, if you'll see in my email, what I recommend, you don't have to do this. I personally, just because of the road closure, I feel like that always should go in front of the planning commission. Technically, it's supposed to. Once again, that's a recommendation. They don't get to make the decision. The ultimate decision is yours. And I would recommend that you send the primary discussion about the open container district to the beer board. We have a really, really good and effective beer board, and I think they could work through some of those issues and then make a recommendation back to you. That's just my suggestion. You do not have to do that at all. But I think that's something I think that would be particularly beneficial to the city, because you may also want to create a special permit for special events that sort of flow into this. And instead of you being the decision maker on that, you may want to make your beer board the decision maker on those, instead of those things come to you. But once again, that's all completely up to you. There's no guidelines on that. There's no law on that. You can set that as you choose. So, any questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, I did run through your email. I like the idea of throwing it, tossing it to planning and the vehicle. I like the garden style where they could have it, it's kind of like it's a kind of like a dome, clear area, it's kind of, set aside through that particular area. But more importantly, a couple of things. Has anyone spoken with other entities in the area, in particular the Fly building, as they are building their plays and all of the, things that they're doing? Would that affect them noise-wise and that type of thing? Yeah, and also, is there at all any liability to the city when it comes to that type of thing and you stumble up those two steps going to that business next to, right across the street?
There's no extra liability. Let me ask that. I don't know about the Fly.
Okay.
There's no extra liability than what we already,
Good call.
that already exists.
Yeah.
There's no extra liability than anything that already exists from us maintaining our structures. So I don't see anything there from that. As far as the Fly, I'm not sure.
Jody Barnes from the Fly reached out. They heard that we were looking at closing the road and setting this entertainment district for the open container. And she just asked that we remember the Fly when we're discussing this, because they could potentially be the backup for some of these outdoor concerts and activities that they have out there. So like for rain and things like that, they want to make sure that we remember that they're part of this. They don't want to be just separated from it. But then, we also have to look at, the parking lot, the, areas around it. So that just wanted to let, that she did, she's aware, and she's just like, I want to make sure I'm included somehow if we have an event there. That
And whether or not, quite frankly, that applies whether or not you do this or have an open container district shut the street. To me, the more thing is about where we've talked about having concerts, there's gonna have to probably be
The Fly.
coordination with what their programming is and the city's programming. So that you don't have two things going right beside each other at the same time. That has not really any bearing on whether you do this or not. That exists.
Well, she did say that when there's concerts, she's planning on leaving that open if possible. She's got a little advance. So she's gonna leave that date open, potentially, so they can be the backup if that happens. So.
Well, now. Henry?
I got several topics on this, I guess. I've been a proponent of this downtown entertainment district for a very long time. And I've talked to virtually everybody down there for years about what they want to see envisioned in this area. And this is exactly the square, and about a block off of the square would be an entertainment district. Specifically, that's what I've used in the past for a border around that, to the riverfront, down toward Lane Parkway here, to South Bridge Street on the other side. The Fly would definitely like to be included as all part of that.
Sure.
Along with that zone, and have an open container within the district, fine. I don't want people hauling in ice chests and having a big trunk party, because we have a thing on the square, and we close the square down every now and then.
That's right.
We've done it often. When the wine walk is going on,
That's right.
everybody to a person is saying, wow, wouldn't it be nice if we could do this all the time? I mean, that's what I've heard over and over for many years that I've participated in that. So there's a lot of community support for it. It's not where everybody and their brother's gonna be sitting around drinking all the time. But the big stick that the city needs, I think, is that we need to begin to get the revenue off this district. Everybody's seen the costs that we've been putting into it to develop it to this point. We need to start realizing the revenues off of that. And for the last couple of years, I travel a lot, and all over the country and mainly in Tennessee, I have taken copies of my personal receipts when we've gone into establishments like this, specifically in Chattanooga, where we were recently at a TML convention. And the tax that they're collecting in these districts is about 18%. Some of them have it broken down by LBD, they call it liquor by the drink tax. Some of them have a county tax, city tax. 18% is the low number. I have seen up in the 30s, the low 30%, 25, that kind of thing. So that to me ought to be another
Part of it.
third leg of this thing. If we're gonna establish an entertainment district, we need to get the extra revenues from that are gonna help with the law enforcement, the policing of it, and the overall maintenance of
Yeah,
it.
I have a copy of Memphis's Bill Street tax. I haven't seen the news, but I can get that.
Would there be a need for extra policing just because of this?
Throw that off to the chief.
Would there be a need for extra policing because of this,
Possibly.
possibly?
Could we require the establishments to provide their own?
Their own,
Security.
Yeah. those kind of-
well, they really are only gonna have security in their own, on their own premises. They wouldn't have any authority out in the street. I think that's where Henry's getting about having a,
It's difficult to determine exactly what you're gonna need up front now. We're speculating. But something like Winchester did nearby, y'all been to their square recently?
Yeah.
If you haven't been to Philo's on their square, go do it. It is worth the night out to go over there compared, we've got one now at Glass Hollow, but that square is alive over there. They have all kinds of other businesses that are locating in there.
Anybody else have anything to say?
And what, I'm gonna tell you what Winchester did, if I can get my breath here.
Okay.
I'm recovering from a sore throat this week. Anyway, they established, when they did their downtown entertainment district, the taxes collected from that are going back into a fund to maintain and, help with the security and that kind of things in downtown Winchester. So they've been doing that. They started theirs like, it's had to be over 10 years ago now, when they did their square about that time. So they were very forward thinking and putting the money in there. And that money does keep plowing back into that district, so it's growing. That's what I envision we would see here, because those tax dollars like that save property taxpayers that live here full time. I'm feeling that.
Anyone else?
Just a question, I mean, you're talking about a pretty big area around the square and like that. Other than these two businesses, do we even have anybody in the central business district that's selling liquor and mixed drinks? I don't know that we do.
Oh, they may
Currently,
not.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so we'd be
But I was thinking,
encouraging adding more
Yeah.
bars and restaurants to the square by doing this.
Yeah, and I would just say as mayor, we have done everything we can to bring that district to life. Right now, parking spaces are limited and this is due to the Glass Hollow and the businesses they're doing. We help those folks to get in business. They've done most of the, dollar amount, on their own, and we appreciate what they've done to that building and the services they provide are excellent. The Grindstone Cowboy, I think we're all looking forward to that. We had those old buildings that were greatly in need of somebody doing something with them when I became mayor, and we did sell those to Bedco and those folks for them to move forward. We have put a lot of money, I'm talking about the city of Shelbyville, through our hotel motel taxes and from our fund balances into that district, expanding the Fly parking lot. We've just had the $250,000 to do the concrete stamping of the street in front of the Grindstone Cowboy, halfway down that Spring Street. All of those things, I'm all in favor of people enjoying, having good food, coffee at the Grindstone Cowboy, alcohol, those kind of things, I guess, inside the buildings. The Fly building, I was president of that for about 10 months. They elected me for that at that time, and That's a happening place. It's, Jody has done a great job, and the new people that have been elected and bringing that back to life again. We worked on a whole lot of things when I was there, and then they have brought all of that to fruition as far as plays and music and all those kind of things. Great, that's wonderful. All of that entertainment district, and we can call it an entertainment district without having the liquor out in the street. I just don't go for that right now. I don't see any way that I would go for it. I'm afraid we'll have people that are supposed to be in that little district walk right out onto the square, which is where people will be driving. We've got in Ginger's email today, or from Scott, I think it was, not Ginger, that said that they were even talking about maybe the Fly Arts Center parking lot. Well, you know the streets over there beside it, that, you know, cars are gonna be zooming by and all those kind of things. I just don't see it, folks. I don't see that will be that's the greatest need. I go to Chattanooga, I have been to Nashville, I've been to all those places. I just don't see that being Shelbyville, Tennessee. The music for the Grindstone Cowboy, I've been concerned about the noise. How is that gonna be affected? How is that gonna affect people over there? Noise is what I thought about. This alcohol in the street, I hadn't even thought about. But I'll just let you know tonight, I am not for it. I am just not for it. Now, the council can vote the way they want to when we get to that point, but I'm not for it. So, anybody else have anything to say?
Now, the 250,000 for that grindstone, what was just spoken, that we have committed to, are there other funds, anything else that we tied ourselves to as far as utilities or anything of that nature?
Scott, you're asking about the utilities and things?
Yes.
Did it cost us? Is that underground and everything? I think there's two that's not underground yet, correct?
The AT&T thing,
Yeah. Now, we financed, the city provided funds for a lot of that, but we've used hotel motel tax because it is tourism funds that we're using for that. But we've also went into our fund balance, $600,000 for that parking lot. Why? Almost $600,000. Now, is it a plus for our square? Oh, it's very nice looking. Wonderful, wonderful thing. I drive through there just to see who's parking, where the license plate's from, and all those kind of things. Had somebody, the horse show, that left a message up at City Hall, said, can I put a food truck out there, park my food truck out there? Of course not. Of course not. That's not what it was for. But and we have done everything to try to help the Glass Hollow with business, and we're helping everything with Grindstone, and we've helped everybody on the square with the investment we've made. And our square, people are the Shelbyville Square is just, it's a happening place. But I don't think we need to be happening in the street. That's the way I feel about it. Any other thoughts from anybody else? Okay. All right, go ahead.
Before you all move on, I guess just wanting to know, Scott, my thought was just having this initial conversation with you all, and then staff would simply take this to the beer board, the planning commission. If you all are tonight, kind of give a general nod for us to look at it and bring it back. Or if you all prefer to actually vote on that next Thursday, I think you just need to give Scott some direction on how staff should move.
I'm always open for, other ideas, things that they may think of that, that will help me, hopefully the council as well. So I'm in favor of doing just that with both boards, both committees.
For those, I agree with that.
No,
Yeah.
the general consensus looks like you're okay with that?
Your email,
And
I said that in my comments, what
Yeah.
you're targeting is right on it. Help
Okay.
make sure you get all the.
I was sent you a
I
reply.
did, you did too. Thank you. I really appreciate that feedback. So if y'all are okay with that, we'll go ahead and move. We won't wait till next Thursday. I can go ahead and start that conversation with the beer board next week.
And we might think about this, affecting all the citizens of Shelbyville. Do we need to do a poll, or do you guys in each one of your wards need to be contacted by people to let you know what their thoughts are on this. Now, not what we're trying to do as far as the entertainment district, but I'm talking about this alcohol in the street. Okay? All right, let's move
Thank you
forward.
all.
All right, number 3 is the TAP 2026 application. Who needs to handle that for us, Scott?
It was discussed when Whitney Summers was here last meeting cycle, and this is just an effort. If you'll recall, we've got 1.7 million projected deficit. And so this is an opportunity to get 80/20 funds to cut in for that amount.
Is this what do they call it, a carbon, do they call it?
No, that's separate.
That's it.
But she's already got that one under consideration by TDEC.
Okay.
This would be through TDOT for Transportation Alternative Program 2020.
Okay. All right. Questions on that, folks? That's to help pay for our river wall. Okay. Okay. All right. Number 4, fireworks ordinance, and I read through all of that today. Who is going to kind of update us, or does anybody need to go over that? Have everybody read it and you got thoughts on it? It's not changing a whole lot, is it? No, it's about the same as it's always been.
Well, it's extending the shooting period a little bit longer because when the staff met to discuss it, the city council actually authorized sales on June 20th. And then it's not permissible to start shooting until 3 days around 4.
Right.
And so it was brought forth, the recommendation to at least let them shoot through the weekend. You know, 4th is on Thursday, let them shoot Friday, Saturday. And so Ginger, you just take work on this if you want to fill in some blanks.
Oh, the staff did talk, we looked at it a couple of times. There is no recommendation from staff at this point about what to change it. This was staff responding to a council member wanting, and hey, we probably need to extend it. So we've just given you the information here. There's a long period of time that they're able to sell before they're able to shoot. And so there's pros and cons to all that. You know, clearly you allow people to come in and sell at a greater time. That helps your citizens be able to go when they want to, but they have to sit on it for a while. So we talked about several different things. We even talked about expanding the times in the year when you might want to allow fireworks to go off, to not just those 2 times right there. We did talk about Christmas. We didn't think it would probably be appropriate at Christmas, but we'll hear on that Christmas. So it's really up to you all. You all tell us what you would like to see change on the hours. This is, and of course, this is not to talk about the folks that get to, there is a permitting process that if people want to do shows,
Right.
more professional type shows, understand that's a completely separate issue than this is when people are allowed to just go buy fireworks and shoot them off themselves.
And I didn't read anything in the ordinance, but does any of it cover, just being on their property when they fire the fireworks off? I know we've got someone down the street from me that gets out in the middle of the street and shoots the fireworks, and then there's paper and all kinds of stuff everywhere, and it goes to everybody else's house. Do we have anything in that ordinance that says you've got to try to keep it? I know the sky is the limit, but do we have anything to keep it within the residential or business, commercial?
That's a great question. I haven't looked at it. Jan, do you know that off the top of your head? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything that talks about that, so.
Have we had many problems with that? Okay. I'd say leave it alone. Go ahead.
I'm the reason it's on here, so I'll real quick just bring the reason that we actually brought up. My neighborhood tried to have a neighborhood fireworks show this year on July 5th. And just because of the way the ordinance is written, even though it was a Saturday night at 9 o'clock, our police department got 911 calls. So we tied up emergency services to bring police officers out you know, on a Saturday night when it was a reasonable time to be shooting fireworks. It wasn't, you know, midnight or 11 o'clock. This was, you know, 40 or 50 neighbors that gotten together. We're doing a show. So we were just looking to, if the 4th falls on a Wednesday or a Thursday right now, we don't have a reasonable way for people to shoot out fireworks on the weekend. So I was just looking to extend it, instead of saying July 1st through 4th, maybe say July 1st through 7th. And that would, no matter what day of the week the 4th falls on, you'd at least get a Friday and Saturday that you could legally go out. We're not tying up police services to, you know, go out on those calls. And I also understand that the flip side is the people with pets. I've got pets, you know, that's who, those are the ones calling 911, and we want to be sensitive to them. So we're not looking to do a big change, like expand it to go for a month or anything. I just felt like the 1st through the 7th, that way, no matter what day of the week the 4th falls on, you got a Friday and a Saturday that you can shoot off fireworks. We don't have people calling 911, tying up police services, so.
So what happens when they go beyond the 10:30 PM hour? Or
They
the
get the calls.
11:30 PM hour, what happens?
They shoot them all hours and right around me.
What happens?
The
The police,
Well, somebody has to make it, I mean, someone has to make a complaint
Somebody's going to.
Right.
for the police to know what's going on.
and so upon the police arrival at that location, what happens?
Then
What happens when you respond and somebody has called you that they're shooting fireworks after hours or
We
something?
usually will give a warning. Usually give a warning, and then if it continues.
Was that your question, Councilman?
We come back and issue a citation.
Okay. Was that your
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
that's really all we can do. We can't take the fireworks.
We got two chiefs, we got two chiefs with us tonight. Thanks.
Can't do it.
He's over the fire.
Have you ever had a fire from fireworks, Chief?
Absolutely,
Sir?
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And maybe the only thing I would suggest, if you do make any changes to it, is if we have to implement a burn ban because of existing conditions,
All right.
that we could include the fireworks in with that burn ban. If it was that dry where it is a,
Yeah.
so we've had that when they go on somebody else's property, catch it on fire.
All right, Council, doing just out loud.
Yes.
Go ahead. Somebody else have something to say?
July 1st
Yeah.
through 7th, right?
Yeah, I'd like to vote next week on the 1st to the 7th, and the burn ban's a great idea too. I think we could get that on there.
You folks have thoughts on leaving it like it is or expanding it or what?
I personally I would never choose to extend any of this because I don't like them. The pets don't like them, but I mean, if people are fine with it, and if we stick with that ordinance, whatever that ordinance says, and, you know, our law enforcement enforces what we said, it's okay. But personally, I don't like it, but I'm fine with that. I'll go for it.
Anybody else have thoughts on it?
If I may just clarify, so no changes to New Year's Eve, obviously, because that doesn't matter what day that
Yeah.
folks
that's
usually
not
off.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. This was just about the 4th falling in the middle of the week.
got it.
Okay, we ready to move forward? All right, let's go to number 5, Recreation Center, retired employee benefit. I read through that this afternoon. Trevor, do you need to update us any, or folks, have you got questions after you read through the information that we had? Trevor?
If you have any questions, I'll answer them for you. No, not yet. I am thinking about changing my title to chief.
Oh,
So,
Ready, Chief.
yeah, chief of recreation.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about this? Obviously, we have a great benefits package here in the city of Shelbyville, and we thought it would be great to extend that benefit package to our retirees. That would obviously, part of our benefit package as employees is that even, and all of you as well, get free memberships to the recreation center, and that free membership would extend into retirement, provided that you meet all three of the criteria.
I think that's a good thing, keeps us in shape, right, Trevor? Okay, number 6 is TDOT Airport Maintenance Grant, and Paul is not with us tonight, is he?
No, sir, I'll take it if it's
Okay.
okay with you.
All right.
This is our annual TDOT maintenance grant that we get for the airport. We get it every year. It is normally $15,000. This year, they've upped it to $20,000. And there is a local match. We kind of had a little back and forth about whether that, because of the way the grant was written up, but I think we decided there is a 5% local match, which will be $1,054, I think, $52.
That's that grant cover, you're saying maintenance.
Just maintenance, like, repairs to the runway, fixing, paving, that kind of stuff. They spend more than $20,000 on it every year. This is not even a grant that we have to apply for. They give $20,000 to pay us back for the first $20,000 maintenance every year. But we have to have permission from y'all so that the mayor can sign off paperwork.
Okay. Are there any questions for Lisa on that? She sits in on those airport authority meetings and takes all the information down. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, old business, ordinances, second final reading, public hearing, there's none. New business, ordinances, first readings. A is an ordinance of the Shelbyville City Council to amend the Shelbyville zoning map by approving the rezoning of approximately .93 plus or minus acres owned by Shannon Lee Harris, addressed at 128 Dover Street, and referenced in Beverly County, Tennessee tax records as tax map 79L, Group C, parcel 24, and attached as Exhibit A and Exhibit B survey from commercial 2, C2 general business to residential 3, R3 medium density residential, and repealing any ordinance or portion of ordinance in conflict therewith. It's all residential all around that, isn't it, Tom?
Yes, sir, it is.
A question for Tom on this? Everybody probably got a chance to read over that. We've talked about it some of that.
Any questions if you have, I think so.
How many units is she talking about putting on that? Do you know now?
Just a single family house.
Just one single family house?
Yes,
That's what I thought I read. Yeah,
Great.
yeah. With going R3, that's
That allows
not
for,
normally a single family, is it?
it is,
Okay.
R1, R2, and R3 are single
Okay.
family. It does allow duplex on it, but it
Okay.
just wants to do a single family.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay. R1 and R2 is single family alone, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Questions? All right. All right, resolutions, there's none. Business items. See Lori tonight. Firearms here. Hi, Lori, were you hiding?
Yes, so.
Okay, Miss Sadler, Lori. Firearms Exchange, Police Department. This is our purchasing director,
All right,
Lori Sadler.
the police department petitioned and received court order to exchange 44 firearms. This is something we do annually. And we sent this out to qualified dealers and we received 2 back. The bid committee opened these Friday. GT Distributors offered us $5,220. King's Firearms offered $5,770.16. And the staff recommends the high bid for that.
Okay. Questions, folks?
Is this where they give us a credit on their account
Yes.
for things we buy?
Yes. The law requires it to be firearms, ammunition, body armor, or other police equipment.
Okay.
And they are looking to buy some more weapons.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Laura. Well, we got some other things here. Good. A is purchasing and bid items, a Tennessee statewide contract purchase for a 2025 pickup truck for the airport.
Yes. Again, this truck is available on the ground in Columbia through the Tennessee contract. It's a 2025 model for $45,181, and their budget was $45,000.
What is it?
It's a Dodge 3500.
Right. Questions? Okay. The B section is the HGAC, National Cooperative Self-Contained Breathing Apparatus. That's SCBA for our fire department.
Yes, sir, this is pretty much an annual purchase as well. This will buy 5 sets for the fire department, which is the SCBA, the apparatus with 2 bottles and a face mask, which is considered a set.
Right.
So that's $55,525. They budgeted $55,800.
Okay, I've got it loaded up. Okay. All right. Questions?
Can I ask a slightly off topic fire question? Did we hear back on our grant for the radios, or is that, we're still waiting?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's usually the end of September.
And so,
Any other questions?
I have a off topic, the house that burned on, where we put the new road down, Shelbyville.
Yes, sir.
How does that work? Who, if they don't have insurance, does this, who cleans that up? How's that taken, how's that process?
I know in the past, the city has had to do abatements on some property. That's very few cases that I can recall. So it will be up to the property owner, or it will be like any other ordinance that are so off all the time.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Chief. All right. The C is rocks for city project. Second of 2 options to renew. Lori?
I've heard from the vendors today, and they have, in their words, they are declining the option to renew. So this will have to go back to the bid table.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that will not be on your agenda next week. It'll
All right.
probably be October.
All right. Thank you. All right. The last thing there, the D is the RFQ Retail Development Services. Tell us about that, please.
Okay, at your May 8th meeting, you all authorized the letting of request for qualifications for retail development services. That was let, and we had 2 responses, the retail coach and retail strategies. We had put together a 6-member committee. Councilmember Noel serves on this committee, City Manager Collins, Claim Director Batchelor, Fire Chief Doak, City Recorder Smith, and myself. We all reviewed these submittals. They were all, several pages long. We had a scoring, on evaluation committees like this, we have a scoring system. Retail coach scored 134 points. Retail strategy scored 138 points. Their proposed annual cost, retail coach, was $40,000 plus up to $3,000 in not to exceed expenses. And then retail strategies annual spend was $45,000. We wanted to bring this back to you all at this point to decide if we want to go further with interviews, if you want to make a decision based on this information. RFQs are not about the cost, they're about the qualifications is the purpose of RFQs. Of course, once you make a selection, then you normally negotiate. Both of these companies put their cost in their proposals, so that's why I put it on here. Wanted to be totally upfront with everything they provided. So I guess we're looking to decide whether to make a decision on the information we have or move forward with interviews.
Well, I'm going to ask Scott a question. Retail strategies, we had them last year for $25,000.
Yes, sir.
But they're up to $45,000. Is this the one that cannot actually?
No, they can't now.
Okay, they can do that now. Okay, maybe that's the difference in the cost. Before, they could not because they had Tullahoma as
Yeah.
client, right? Okay.
But they have resolved that.
Okay.
Did we get our $25,000 worth last year?
Yeah. Questions, anybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so are you recommending council to go with either one of those in particular?
Well, I would say by the committee's scoring
Mm-hmm.
that, you
It's
know,
awful close.
retail strategies was higher, but you're awfully correct, 4 points is not much.
Right.
So, and their dollars are $2,000 apart, that's not much. So, difference anyway. So, yes, I don't know. I mean, I think Scott wanted you all to weigh in on this if we,
Scott, you're the one that deals with them all the time. Which one do you?
Well, the committee really went over this. I mean, we spent quite a bit of time doing the pros and cons and discussions and stuff. And as Assistant Director said, it's close.
Right.
But retail strategies, we have a relationship with. We know them, they know Shelbyville.
Right.
And
I would like to say as someone on that committee, that a lot of the questions that we had are small concerns with their presentation. When we were at TML, we were able to meet with a representative from Retail Strategies who made, I think, everyone there solidified that that was the right choice. There were some minors and just some presentation and some spelling and some stuff like that. And by, I think to speak to that, they have a new marketing director on the way.
Betsy, you want to?
Just to,
that's what you are.
So
okay.
we're dipping into our hotel motel for this.
We would need a budget amendment, because there's just 10,000 in there right now. It would be fund balance in hotel motel.
Okay.
Is there a time commitment with either of these? Is this a 1-year deal, a 2-year, a 3-year? What's the
Yes.
commitment?
1 year.
1
Those-
Year with options.
Yes, options for renewal.
Can the members of this committee just give us a recommendation on which one they would need to go with? Looks like to me they've got more information we have.
I mean, I would go with retail strategies.
Okay.
Retail strategies.
Go with our scores.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it would have been a bigger lead on Retail Strategies had those things that we got. First, they've been addressed, so they would have been a big.
Okay. All right, Trevor, you got a vote? You're on the committee, it looks like. Or maybe you decide to
It's
designate
Tom.
somebody else. He says he did.
It's Tom.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, all right. Oh, okay.
But I
Yeah,
did listen to
I'm
her,
sorry.
I was looking at TML, and it was,
I'll put you on here.
Vote anyway, Trish.
retail strategies.
Well, I'm really asking some folks that don't know anything about it.
Thanks, Chief.
Well, don't have a clue. Okay, thank you, boy. Sorry, folks. Thank you, God. Okay, appointments. Employee Benefits Committee, is a new committee. And am I looking at the right one on that one? That's it, right? All right, that's the one I pulled up. Okay, let's see. Do we need to say, agree with that? Is that the reason it's on there as an appointment? That we'll appoint those folks, or I just need to appoint 2 council members, or ask 2 council members, or what do we need to do?
I think you would want to establish the.
It's by vote next.
Yes. Then appoint the 2 council members.
Right after that. If you did this, what you do.
And everybody should have gotten this in their packet, but it's,
When are they meeting?
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, maybe 9. Okay.
So, if I may, Mayor.
You got it?
All right.
Just right now, this is a staff recommendation. If you've got thoughts on the staff recommendation of that committee and what they recommend, who's on it, now would be probably a good time to discuss that.
Additionally, as far as Councilmember Noel's question to when are we meeting, we put in there the third week of September because the, I think the driving force behind this committee was the, employee health insurance, which if a change is going to be made in that, it will have to be made before the end of the year.
Okay.
So we're on kind of a time crunch to have the meetings and then make the recommendation back to the city council, prior to December. So that's how come we kind of put that in there. The meetings will probably come fast to begin with.
I'd say we need to form this committee, make sure we're taking care of the benefits for the employees. Anybody else have any thoughts?
No, but you're going to, Mr. Mayor, you're appointing two council members?
Not at this point, all we're doing is just forming the committee, is that correct? Or do I need to go ahead and appoint the council member tonight?
You can do.
Next Thursday night.
Okay. All right, I would like for Henry, if he doesn't mind serving, and I would like for Josh, if he doesn't mind serving. Is that okay? Don't anybody get your feelings hurt. We'll fill you up with something else. I knew that they had been working with this before. I knew they both had some background in this. Okay. Can we move forward?
Yes.
All right, the park board, and this is not parking cars. This is the Parks and Recreation Board that works with Trevor on operating our Parks and Recreation. The members who are currently serve in these positions are all eligible for reappointment there's only 3 eligible for reappointment.
Well, there's only
Lisa?
3 seats up.
I'm sorry?
There's only 3 seats up.
That's what I'm seeing right here, yeah.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Brant Horner, you just appointed him last year,
Take Tony's place.
but he was finishing out Mr. Cornish's term.
Okay,
So he is, of course, eligible. They're not term limits at the park, so all of them are able to be reappointed if you desire to do so.
are they, all
he's
willing
only
to serve, or do you know that yet?
I haven't reached out to any
Okay.
of them.
Lisa does that for us. She does a great job on that. Do you mind reaching out to those folks and making sure? I had questioned her this afternoon. We've got some folks that are serving on multiple committees, and we appreciate all those volunteers. But we've got some folks that are on 3 committees for the city, and we've got some that are on two or more committees. So if you folks have, in your wards or your friends or whatever, somebody you think is qualified, give us some names so that we'll have choices. And if somebody decides they do not want to be on one of these committees, or maybe doesn't want to be on multiple committees, they're probably serving because nobody else volunteered. And they have to give time and all those kinds of things. We appreciate their volunteers. One of these days, we'll have a luncheon for them, right, Lori? One of these years. But we will take those recommendations from you, for those folks that are qualified and folks that want to serve and things like that. Right now, we've got 3, and if they agree, I'm willing to go ahead and recommend. Do I do that, or does council make that recommendation?
You do.
This is your,
Okay.
yeah, your.
Okay, all right. All right, if you'll check for those folks and see.
Mayor, if I
Yes,
may, I just want to make certain, those are 3, not 5, Lisa? 3 seats up instead of 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Put 5.
In the
Yeah.
memo, it says 5.
Yeah, I read that too, yeah.
Oh, well, look at that. Lisa made a mess.
I was making certain I understood it.
It ain't the first time and it won't be the last.
Sorry. Don't hit me after that.
Okay, yeah. All right, the ADA Authority Board has also got 2 seats up for a 2-year term, and that on the park board is a 2-year term, and that's a mayoral appointment. And we have 2 seats up.
That's Karen Gonzalez.
Yes.
And she, and, not Marilyn Ewing as a council, her seat isn't up yet. Ms. Gonzalez's seat is eligible for reappointment. This board does have term limits.
Uh-huh.
You're only allowed to serve 2 terms, and then you have to come off for a
Okay.
period of time.
All right.
So Mr. McGee, Brad McGee, who is also on this committee,
Right.
is not eligible to be reappointed.
And Mr. Young is not either?
Mr. Young's, his term is not up to next year.
Okay, what about, is there just one?
It's just the two that.
Gonzalez and McGee?
Yeah, and Mr.
Uh-huh.
McGee's the only one that will have to come off of the board.
All right, so we've got an opening on the ADA board, and Marilyn, will kind of lean on you if you know somebody that might be qualified or anybody else on the council that might make a recommendation before next week. We need to, okay. Would y'all do that for us? No? Yeah. Any other business tonight?
They only meet quarterly, 4 times a year.
Okay. Any other business that anybody wants to discuss? Any announcements to make tonight, Lisa?
I don't think I have any announcements, no, sir.
All right, let's adjourn this meeting.